So they also did Battlegrounds class adjustments. So this sounds like this will only be impacted in the Battlegrounds. Am I understanding this right? So they didn't make adjustments to classes. They just buffed and nerfed people in Battlegrounds only. Whew, hold on. This is gonna be stressful. All right. So Barb reduced. Okay, they got a buff. Reduced the cooldown for 6 seconds on cleave. Increase the distance moved when using the skill. Hammer of the Ancients. Cooldown reduced from 9 to 6. Okay. That's why we let you read it. Yeah, thanks. Damage increased by 38%. Projectile speed increased by 40%. Okay. So buff so far to Barbarian. Cooldown reduced. Buffed again. Demoralize. Collision radius of the Ancient increased by 2.5. At the end of the Ancient's charge, affected enemies will be stunned for 3 seconds. That's a buff. Demoralize. Cooldown reduced. So, all right. Barb's got buffed. Blood Knights. Tendrils of Blood. Cooldown reduced from 9 to 6. Okay, that's a buff. Siphon Blood. Damage bonus per affected enemy increased from 10 to 15%. Okay. Brandish of Blow. Whirling Strike. Cooldown reduced from 9 to 6. That's a buff. Bleed damage increased by 50% for Abomination. So not a lot of buffs for the Blood Knight, but overall buffs for Blood Knight. All right, so now we have the Crusader. Players are no longer required to be facing the Crusader to be blinded. That's a huge buff. Effect radius increased from 4 to 4.5. That's a buff. Falling Sword. Falling Sword damage increased by 17%. That's a buff. Cooldown reduced. And attack speed increased by 100%. Slashing damage by 12. Burn damage increased by 20. That's a buff. Spinning Shield cooldown reduced from 12 to 9. That's a buff. Sacred Chain damage bonus increased from 60 to 100. Buff. Damage to shielded enemies increased from 350 to 550. That's a big buff. Holy shit. That's a huge buff. Jesus. All right. Demon Hunter. Explosion effects are no longer delayed. Quality of life / buff? I don't know. Knife Trap. Explosion effects are no longer delayed. No longer delayed. No longer delayed. Okay, all of these. All right, bonus damage from a Sentry upgrade has increased at all master levels upon your first upgrade. The Sentry does not provide damage reduction, but will increase the base health of the other sentries. Adjustment. I wouldn't consider this a buff. It's definitely an adjustment. Oh, never mind. Bonus damage increase from 190 to 260. So if you trigger, there's no time to get away. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I like that. For sure. That's a buff. Yeah, okay, you're right. That's a buff. Okay. Sentry current life consume reduced from 5 to 2.5. That's a buff. Okay. Impale damage increased by 20%. Damage reduced per additional knife hit. 70 was reduced from 750. Enemies can be damaged up to 4 knives at once. Okay. Multi-shot damage dealt to shielded enemies increased from 350 to 550. That's a buff. Okay. So buffs to everyone so far. Monk damage increased by 30. Damage increased by 30. Damage increased by 100%. 15%. These are all buffs. All buffs. Okay. Overall, 15% buff. Debuff shield's good. Oh, yeah. Very good. There's so many shields in Battlegrounds right now. Like, being able to do more damage to shielded people is actually a really good adjustment. I like that. I'm in gold 1 still, and I felt like that was still an issue. Like, there were just so many shields before you actually hit someone's life. All right. So, overall, 15%-ish increase in damage for monks needed. Necromancer. The duration of harmful effects is no longer split equally between you and the golem. Instead, the golem takes 2/3 of the duration. What a nice guy. Buff? Oh, it was split 50%. Now I get 66%. Okay. Bone Wall damage bonus increase from 40 to 50. Buff. The immobilize affected additional players to use a dash skill for its duration. Oh, additionally prevents. Yikes. That's a buff. Base damage of the lance launched by your empowered primary attack is increased by 27%. Buff, buff, and buff. Okay, so... Oh, shit. These are... Wait. The following class balance changes will only affect these skills in FXs when playing Battlegrounds. So these are all changes. So then why did they say that up here? Jesus. All right, the following adjustments have been made to the following classes across Diablo Immortal. Okay, I'm just an idiot. So this is across... Okay, this right here, this placement is very confusing. This didn't need to be here yet because it's not just battleground changes yet. The battleground changes are at the bottom. So these were all just generic buffs. So everyone got buffed except for Wizard, question mark. Did I already cover Wizard? I don't think so. All right, so Wizard. Cooldown reduced, that's a buff. Cooldown, buff, buff. And damage increase, wow. The Ice Crystal, holy shit. Yikes. The initial tick of damage caused by the Ice Block now occurs immediately. Oh, that's the one where, like, it cocoons you. That's cool. I have hiccups. I'm losing it, chat. I'm losing it. All right, what else? Ice Blood, Ice Armory. Damage increase from 1 to... Oh, tick damage rate. Okay, so that's a buff. Slow time instead of incapacitating sound. Movement scales. Freezes cannot move. Oh, that's a buff too. Holy shit. Damage are no longer released from the status effect, however the rate. Okay, so those are all just buffs for all classes. Now these are the buffs or nerfs to Battlegrounds only. Okay. So the Beslaver, Skewer, cooldown increase from 9 to 10 seconds. That's a nerf. Baseline Transfusion, all transfusion. So shield amount reduced by 15%. That's a nerf. Okay. Demon Hunter, escape cooldown reduction per instance of damage taken has changed at higher mastery levels. My brain. Holy shit. Minimum reduced from 1.6 to 1.5. Reduced from 4.8 to 4.35. Buff? Yeah, cooldown reduction. That's a buff. So, oh, Blood Knight got nerfed. Demon Hunter got buffed. Got it. Legendary Essence by loyalty bonus. Okay, so those are all the buffs and nerfs. Good lord. This is the Legendary Essence stuff. So this is what I was talking about earlier. That was really, really important. So they changed it so now it is more intuitive and rewarding. When you unlock Legendary Essence, you can select the next essence that you'd like. We have also removed the restriction of acquiring essences for different classes through the loyalty system. For instance, a wizard could collect, or now can collect essence for a Blood Knight. So this is a good change. So this was like an example that I actually brought up, which was my concern. So I love my wizard, but I always feel like I'm wasting time on my wizard because I have all the essences. So I feel like I was just wasting time. Well, now that we know that the Infernal gear can't be transferred, unfortunately, this is a way of unlocking essences on other classes. So it will reward you still, just not as quickly, for being on your main class. So that's good. I like that. Increased stash tabs for Boon of Plenty. That's fun. New bestiaries coming in, 11 more. New season of Prodigy Path. Yeah, makes sense. Seasonal Prodigy Path is coming, so that'll be good value. Warband improvements. We have made a few changes to the Warband camp. That is good quality of life. Oh yeah, for sure. When contributing to the Warband stash, the new item auto salvage feature will automatically read the maximum equipment level and updates it in real time. The input method for setting auto salvage level can be changed to keyboard input instead of a list of options, making it easier for players to use. I don't even understand this at all, but it sounds like a good quality of life. Additionally, new NPCs have entered the Warband camp. We are adding the essence transfer. That's really good. Oh, and a jeweler. I love that. All right, sick. Dungeon gameplay changes. We've made a few changes to help optimize dungeon gameplay for parties to make it more effective in a group. While playing within a dungeon, if players have to meet at a specific area, if players are falling behind the group, they will now be auto-teleported to the meeting point. We have also removed the invulnerability of bosses from as many stages as possible, added the ability to skip cutscenes that were once unskippable or required all party members to be present to view. Really good quality of life. But the catch up of someone falling behind feels like it might help AFK farm dungeon, if I'm going to be honest. So battleground changes. Oh boy. Battlegrounds resonance changes. Aye. We found that some players lowered resonance levels and used the powers of their normal gems to have an unseemly unseemly advantage in battlegrounds. We're now factoring in normal gem power when using the matchmaking algorithm to ensure a more balanced playing field. That sounds good on paper. I just don't know how they're going to do it. We have also optimized the matchmaking algorithm to now consider armor penetration, armor potency, and resistance, which again is a secondary stats. Makes sense. Players with high values in each of these categories will be better matched to players with higher resonance levels, so the strength of both sides of each battle will be more evenly matched. I like it. Makes sense. I'll be curious. I mean, since they kind of broke matchmaking this time, I'm curious how it'll hopefully fix it. Legendary gem item lock. We have extended the legendary gem lock in your inventory to all equipment. Okay. To your inventory to all equipment. So does that mean if you have different loadouts, you move the gem, it'll still be locked? I don't know. Item names on PC. For adventurers on PC, we're adding a new setting that allows you to change the color that appears when hovering over the cursor of an item. This new setting means that the rollover color will match the rarity of the item dropped. Previously, when hovering over an item, the rollover color was brown. This made it confusing when a rare item, blue rarity color, would have a brown. What the fuck is that? The What's New tab updates. We have updated the design of this page so you'll be able to see more game updates. Cool. UI changes to Grim, whatever. Legendary Gem can now be selected to preview. Oh. Grim Rhythm? Is that one of the new ones? Is that the 2-star? Yo! Oh, it is a new 2-star? I already passed it. I'm an idiot. So the new 2-star can be found. No, it's not. Oh, the 2-star from last time. Got it. Good comms. Good comms. It's. Yeah, I got you. Okay, so it was in the Feather Fang and the other one, so now you can get it from the Boon of Plenty. Got it. Good to know. See, this is why we do it live, so we can talk about it. All right. Added Essence Inheritance NPC to Battleground. So now you can actually change your classes, your spec better in Battleground quality of life. Immortal and Shadow Clan Factions Optimization. We have streamlined the process for newer players gaining access to Immortal and Shadow Clans in a couple of ways. They no longer have to do tutorials. Okay, that's all good stuff. Improvements to the in-game achievement system. Don't use it. Not interested. Salvage adjustments. The next time you open the menu to salvage, it will remember the rarity of the last item salvaged, making it easier to salvage more items of that rarity. This is a good quality of life. So that means for like the armory pet, every time I go to salvage, it'll remember that I want to salvage everything of the same, all those different colors, which is perfect. Spectral Allies UI. We have made improvements to Spectral Allies, making them easier to access and summon for returning players. What? What? Spectral Allies UI. We have. This makes it sound like it was already here. I don't know what the hell it is. I've seen those. I don't know what they are. Yeah. So we have made improvements to the Spectral Allies, making them easier to access and summon for returning players. Spectral Allies are NPCs that can be summoned to help returning players complete certain tasks, such as dungeons. That's for players that come back. Interesting. They can be found through the Party Finder system. Expect the Spectral Allies UI to arrive in all regions with a future content update. Oh, so if you struggle to find dungeons, you can use NPCs? That's cool. What did they add that? I would vocalize this better. Like, that's such a good catch-up mechanic for people. I love that. Never heard of it, but I like it. Legendary Helm appearance updates. We have now included the ability to hide helm for legendary helms, which allows you to hide your appearance but still use all the abilities and power of the helm. What? Wait, what? I don't get it. I don't understand the chat. Whatever. All right, so this was the other thing I thought was interesting. So region-specific game additions. Below, you'll find region-specific updates to the version of Diablo Immortal available in China. Auto battle feature. A feature has been added to that automates gameplay for the player, inputting their character movement and behavior. We have no plans to bring this feature to all regions in a future update. What? No plans. The wording of this is a little weird, though. like the sentence could have ended here. We have no plans to bring this feature to all regions. But then they added this, which in a future update, like if it said, we have plans to bring this, like if you exclude the no, then the sentence would make sense. We have plans to bring this feature to all regions in a future update. But because there's a no, this part feels a little weird. We have no plans to bring this feature to all regions in a future update. Like, you guys see what I'm saying? 100% autoplay. So the leaks made it seem like this was for farming. So you could truly auto farm. And it would like salvage stuff for you too. I think I might be lying on that part, but basically it would just use your abilities and move your character around. So you could basically set it to farm. But this sentence is a little weird. Is it just me? Like, am I reading too much into this, or like, what do you guys think? Boost lazy farming? Yeah, literally a boost of lazy farming. But this makes it seem like it's only going to China and not for us. But the way, or circle farming, I think like partial circle farming. But I would consider it more of a boost to lazy farming. But this does make it sound like, all right, so we have no plans to bring this feature to all regions in a future update. I don't know. I think maybe it's just me. I think it's weird the way they worded that. So relive the past with the Adventurers Chronicles. Can be found in Decker's Cane. Normally they test it in China first, but this is just in China. Oh, I get that it's just coming, but like the way they worded this sentence is weird. But whatever. The Chronicles recording the main quest line is also lists completable stories, blah, blah, blah. This is to get you up to date if you're new to Sanctuary or returning to the game. Plan to extend it as a new quest, and lore books are added with a future content release. I don't really get that, but that's fine. Stories in Sanctuary, new books noted in journals have been added in towns, hubs, and throughout the wilderness of Sanctuary. If you're savvy enough to collect all 21 new entries, head to the Adventurers Chronicle menu for a reward. Expect these new stories in Sanctuary to arrive in all regions with a future content update. All right, so that's it, guys. Lots of changes, lots of adjustments. Apparently, not just in Battlegrounds, truly class buffs. Everyone got a buff. Kind of a massive W.